blow us up. I mean, think about it. And then now we stepping all over ourselves, not to offend nobody. But I'm offended by these people trying to blow us up and trying to kill us. I don't know about you, but I'm offended by that. I'm going to call it what it is. It is what it is. It ain't what it's going to be. And guess what? He's going to have a fighting say-so on everything. Oh, yeah. I watched Obama give a speech at a gay and lesbian convention. And I sit there and watch this man talk, and I say to myself, all these people clapping, and all these people are just so happy. I just thought to myself, I wonder if Jesus would have been giving that speech, how many people would have been clapping and laughing when he got through? Not that many. I also found out that since they started the National Day of Prayer, every president has either gone or sent a representative, but not this one. Don't you think that's kind of odd that he don't send nobody to a National Day of Prayer? Don't you think it's odd that that when he was sworn in, there was a Quran, there was a gay minister, there was all of these folks up there. Don't you think that's, I mean, it's just kind of straight and kind of odd. He also went to go speak at Notre University, which is one of the well-known, biggest Catholic universities probably in the world, I guess. But one of the funny things I found out that was interesting is that before he went to speak, one of the requirements that he had to come and speak there was that they had to cover up all the religious symbols and anything. They had to cover up everything. And I just thought that was kind of strange. Why would he do that? Wow. I don't know, y'all, but guess what? Where there's smoke, there's fire. Trust me, there's going to be a whole lot of fire in this country. It's going to be a whole lot of fire. It ain't over yet. Just things like that, it just kind of blow me away. And those are the things that I think about, man. You know, and it's real. If you don't want to, you can research it yourself. You know, it don't matter to me. Do what you do. Oh, the financial crisis. Man, I read a book 20 years ago. It said first you cause a crisis, then you get rid of credit, then you control the money, and then you introduce the mark. And if you don't take the mark, then you won't be able to buy or sell. Don't y'all think it's funny that all of a sudden, all around the whole world at one time, every country had the same financial crisis? I think that's kind of odd. And then the second thing they did was they bailed out all the banks. Wow. And then they bailed out some of the big companies saying how they couldn't afford to let these companies go under. But yet at the same time, everybody was going under themselves. Then they turn around and all the people they gave their money to were still paying all these big bonuses and stuff. I'm talking about these people were probably been for years been making all these millions and billions of dollars. Then all of a sudden they bail them out and they still give themselves bonuses. I think, to me, the American people who were losing their homes and all this garbage that Clinton passed, where all these people getting these homes and really couldn't afford them and all these bills that they passed. I just think that was kind of odd. To me, you should have gave money to the people. And then the people would have paid their mortgages and not lost their home. And then that money would have went to the people who eventually got it and wasted it. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and all them cats, AIG, who the list goes on and on, man. I don't know how y'all look at this, but that's how I see it. Oh yeah. The FDIC. I remember, man, for years going to a bank and they would have that FDIC guaranteed your money for $100,000. Then after all of a sudden, after all of this banking crisis and all this banking stuff going on, then all of a sudden they up it to $250,000. Wow. But then not too long after that, I found out that the FDIC just went bankrupt not too long ago. So how can you insure something when you ain't even have no money to insure it? The reason why is because it didn't matter whether you have $100,000, $250,000. See, they knew that once the stock market, when people didn't trust the stock market no more, people had to put their money somewhere, so they put it in the bank, $250,000. But what good is it going to do you to have $250 insured when that $250,000, they can't even pay it? Don't you think that's kind of odd? You might want to check on that too. Wow. But yeah, it's like, what difference does it make whether it's $100,000, $250,000 if you ain't got to pay it back? Then what do you care? Wake up, America. Wake up. Wow. Oh, nah, they had the United Nations meeting. Man, I sit there and I watched that and I saw Gaddafi. I saw Netanyahu, I saw Ahmadinejad, Hugo Chavez. I seen all of these jokers come over here in America. And they made a big deal about this. I feel like it's much to do about nothing. But I did come away with some funny things. I noticed that all of our enemies praised our president, Obama. I thought that was kind of odd. Hugo Chavez even said he wanted him to be the president for eternity, I guess, or forever. Wow. I'm sure he probably wouldn't mind that. But I guess out of the most interesting thing that I did see, I saw Benjamin Netanyahu give a speech. One of the things that woke me up back in '06 was when Hamas and Israel were lobbing the bombs at each other. And that's kind of what got me started. That's what kind of woke me back up. That was my rebirth again. That's when God put me on the ground and let me start making my own footprints in the sand. But I watched and I saw one of the things I know. He told Israel, he said, Israel, I will bless those that bless thee, and I will curse those that curse thee. And one of the only friends that that Israel has is America. They take a lot of votes in the United Nations. And most of the time it comes down to two people voting together, Israel and the United States, and everybody else voting against it. And one of the things I saw was this man just cry out loud and say, you know what, the whole world seemed to come against us. And no matter what we do, we just basically try to live and protect ourselves. But yet no matter what these people do, it's like no matter if we win the war, if we win the battle, we lose the war of public opinion. Because what he was saying was that we have a right to protect ourselves. And these cats are shooting these bombs and missiles across this wall, over this wall, and they're shooting from places where there's civilian citizens. And when you shoot back at where you saw the shot come from, and you got all these people standing around, guess what? You're going to have civilian casualties. And that's what people don't understand. You're going to have, it's just inevitable. And then you got the United Nations over there appeasing and accommodating these folks and acting like they can't do no wrong and that, oh, Israel is just the baddest people in the world. But guess what? Y'all better watch out. Y'all better leave Israel alone. Because right now, I'm going to tell you something. Israel ain't no punk. Israel ain't no punk. But they also are protected by God. That's one of the signs of the last days. He said, Israel will bring all your nations up against you. And it looked like they're going to take you out. And just when they do, I got a surprise for them. But before we get to that point, oh, look out, Israel. You are going to be in trouble.